I gotta say, I really don't know much about Kid Icarus, and I wasn't expecting much, but the story is actually pretty funny. The dialogue and bantering between Pit and his comrades actually cracks me up. Nintendo made a story where they know they're making fun of certain events, and you can't help but actually crack a grin. The voice work is great, the dialogue is funny, and it's a pretty interesting story. Oh, and let me just say that Dark Pit is boss, that is all. Overall fun story to go through, and probably one of the most entertaining stories that Nintendo has actually ever created.
What the? Hey.
Graphic-wise, the game is pretty impressive, especially the flying levels when all the enemies are flying around. Explosions are going off and huge enemies overhead and flying and twisting and oh my god, and buildings collapsing. Everything looks pretty damn epic when you're flying. On the ground, you can see the limitations, of course, of the 3DS. Some of the environments are ugly as hell, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. The art design is also wonderful, so that's always a plus. Gameplay-wise, it's very mixed for me. Two fun ideas halted by the control scheme that I really just can't get used to even after hours of playing. First, let's talk about the better portion of the game and also the better controlled portion, the flying. The flying portions are on rail, but it works well enough with the control scheme. You will fly around and aim with the stylus and blast with the L trigger. Works well enough, and it's actually a lot of fun shooting a lot of stuff trying to attack you on screen. My main issue again is the control feel a bit off, causing you to move your character with the circle pad while aiming with the stylus, and your finger doesn't really seem to pick up on the touchscreen, so you have to use that stylus, so no matter what control scheme, you can't really ever get all that comfortable while playing. The ground combat suffers a bit more. You have to move the camera around with the stylus. After holding the 3DS with one hand after a while, it begins to cramp, especially considering the size of the 3DS in my hand being a bit small, making it awkward and hard to keep the aiming on the screen with the stylus. The other control screens really don't work well enough for me to use them either. Overall, the control screen just really hurts the overall game. It really annoys me because with another analog, this game would have been almost fucking perfect. Why is the dual pad not enabled? Really, it kind of pisses me off. Saying that though, once you do get used to the actual controls, there's a lot of cool stuff in this game, like the heart collecting, buying new weapons, and fusing weapons. It's a lot of fun, and it'll definitely make you come back to levels to gain more hearts on harder difficulties. You also have the online, which I wasn't able to get any footage for sadly. Still, the online is fun. You can either do free mode or team deathmatch. You again gain hearts, and you can spend them on fusing and collecting new weapons. So the game definitely gives you content in that respect. I enjoyed a lot from Kid Icarus, from the story to the art design to collecting hearts, but my god, the control screen really kills it for me. It makes it a chore to even play, and I know some fans will be saying, it's easy, but I'm sorry, myself, I could not get used to it, and in doing so, it drags down the score quite a bit. However, if you could get past the control layout and you want to boost the score, rise it by 1 or 2 points for my overall score. I also dislike the ground portion of the gameplay compared to the flying. It's just not as fun. It's not horrible, but just not as fun. Saying that though, the game spices it enough so it's never really boring. I give Kid Icarus a 7.5 and hope to see future games that fix the control setup. My hand doesn't want to cramp up every like 20 minutes, but I do advise anyone with a 3DS to at least try it. See if you can get used to the controls, and if you can, you'll probably love the shit out of this game.